is Australian. I don't think Danny Taylor was like Kentucky girls.
You're too funny. Question to both of you. In professional wrestling, what was the most important thing that you felt you accomplished in your career? And not that it's over for either one of you, but at this present day.
Gosh, you ask some deep questions.
You know?
Yeah.
You know,
wow.
but do you want to be my friend, Melissa?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God. You see, was that so hard?
That's so hard.
Was that hard? How about you, Paul? You want to be my friend?
Not Paul looking into space.
Wow.
Will you let him know I'm not talking to him? I will.
Okay.
Wow.
Is that
I
all?
will,
Is
I
that,
will only talk with Abraham.
is that all that you want me to tell him? That's it?
Yeah.
Paul's not talking to you.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
He only wants to talk to Abraham.
All right, Abe. Abe, can you ask Paul if he wants to be my friend?
Paul, do you want to be his friend?
Okay, is Abe allowed to talk back?
Yeah, Abe's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess he did officially know me Gen X.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess we did. No, I had a moment there. I'm sorry. Let Abraham know that we're friends again.
Abe, could you do me a favor and let him know that they're friends now?
Hey, Mike, just letting you know, you and Paul are friends again.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That means I'm not going to do an Instagram about. I'm not going to do an Instagram video about Paul later on. So you're free. You're okay now.
Likewise.
I wasn't going to dance in front of the camera, take my shirt off, and make you sick.
Well, I mean, would we really be friends if we didn't trash each other on social media?
No.
What was the question again?
What was our biggest accomplishment?
Oh, right.
After we went through that whole gimmick.
This interview.
This interview. I think,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
just a
I
broad
like who
question.
I've become today. I think that's very important. I think my journey and my story, I feel really good about the person I've become today. I've really found a lot of fulfillment in helping students make accomplishments in pro wrestling. That's brought me a lot of joy, because nobody wants to have their time or what people bring to the table. Nobody wants to have that wasted to to other potential students that don't care, or when you give advice, when you give life advice, and you don't want to be taken for granted or anything. So, I have like my core little group of students in Las Vegas, and I helped one of them, get signed to Impact. And my happiest story that brought me a lot of joy was Zoe Stark on WWE.
Wow.
And I love telling. I mean, that story was just so interesting because, if I ever had an opportunity to tell my younger self what to do, basically give them the cheat code, like Zoe Stark was it for me. She was so easy to help because she was literally like a younger version of myself. She was Cheerleader Melissa 1.0, and like when I met her. And like the story was so crazy at the time because I would see her train, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, like she's like very solid in the ring. And then I found out her husband is Tom Howard, and
I love Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Who doesn't love Tom? Everybody loves Tom, right?
Awesome.
Tom Howard, UPW, and Tom. we all got stories with Tom. Yes. All right. So, yeah, and when I found out like Tom was like her husband, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to be friends with this girl because I mean, if Tom is so cool, then he's definitely probably got like a cool chick or whatever. And then, so then at the time, I think it was like kind of pre-pandemic. One of my best friends, Awesome Kong, was with AEW at the time, and she was in a position to start bringing up talent or to do something, and I've actually like pitched pitched a couple of girls at first, and she's like, no, I'd rather have someone who's like not really like known right now. I want to like create my own stars. And same thing, I was just like, well, hey, like there's this girl that trains, she's really good, but not television. It's a whole, wrestling for TV and just wrestling is two totally separate beasts. And she was really good wrestling, but you could tell that she's had zero TV training at the time. And I was just like, oh, well, there's this girl, she's Tom Howard's wife, and same thing. She's like, oh my God, Tom Howard! Oh my God, Tom Howard! Look at that, Tom Howard! Ah! And I'm like, okay.
Tom did that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. She's just like, I love Tom. Oh my God. And I'm like, the same thing you just did. Who doesn't love Tom? And I was like, well, yeah. I was like, and Zoe didn't like know this, but like I like found some of her footage and sent it to her, and I'm just like, just watch this girl. And she's like, okay, I like her. So got them connected. She's like, okay, really great attitude. Melissa, I need you to do me a favor. She's like, I'm gonna try to get her signed to AEW, but I need you to train her for TV. I was just like, okay, and I'll do anything. Like, Awesome Kong, like we'll do anything for each other. I was just like, okay, not a problem, And so I go and introduce myself to her and like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we want to try to do. So we spent a lot of time like just kind of, from her gear, she had like really like basic gear. I had to like update her on her gear. I had to teach her about presence. Had to teach her about like a ring entrance. People don't understand like how important ring entrance is. So I'm like, that basically starts the story when you come out. Just how to wrestle for television, how to wrestle for the hard camera, how to sell. That was the only thing like I had to like adjust her a little bit was like her selling because Tom Howard trainer, so of course she's selling like Andre the Giant for a minute there, and I'm like, girl, you are not Andre. You are not Andre, dude.
You make the other person look.
Like you. You can't. Just.
Another match is a squash match.
Right. So spent a lot of time, and then the pandemic hit, and that was rough because I took quarantine very seriously. So she would still go to training and send me footage, and time was going by, and AEW just wasn't listening to Kia. She was calling people directly, say, hey, you need to hire this girl right now. And
really?
And they just wouldn't, her voice wasn't really being heard. And it was getting really frustrating. So at a time where we kind of felt a little hopeless, we had a game plan. And the game plan was, okay, let's create some buzz around her. We know Shimmer's running a show during the Collective. One of the Collective shows they run.
Oh, right.
And I'm always on every single Shimmer show, but I wasn't going to be because I was taking quarantine seriously. So, that's when, I reached out to my friend Allison Danger, who's also, we're both really good friends with Dave, and kind of told her what was going on. I'm like, hey, listen, like, need you to help me with her, and if I'm not going to be on the Shimmer show, that means there's a spot open, and Zoe Stark, her name wasn't Zoe at the time, and she needs to have my spot. If there is a spot available, and this girl's going to take my spot. And then, fast forward, long story short, the Collective happens, and a WWE talent scout came and offered her a tryout. And so it worked. Our plan worked. Oh, because the plan was to create a lot of buzz around her from the Shimmer show, which is what we did. But then a talent scout came in from WWE, gave her a tryout, which was great because that's when I said the cheat codes to life, because I have failed enough tryouts to know exactly what they're looking for. So I was like, listen, I failed at all of these tryouts. Let me tell you exactly what to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to work on.
Wow.
This is weak. Work on this. You're okay in this. So it was like a 2-week cramp, prep training for her tryout, and she nailed it and got signed, and she's been killing it ever since. But it just feels really good. That her journey getting signed was probably one of my best fulfilling moments. I wish I could say it was like other things that I've done, but just taking all of my past knowledge and helping someone who truly deserved it.
But it kind of
was
shows the
so
person you are,
fulfilling.
because you could have chosen different things, but you chose how you helped another individual be successful. That's pretty impressive stuff, man. It's pretty good.
It was so fulfilling. Like, it made me so happy, and she did me proud. But but the whole journey, I mean, it just felt so good, and especially, if you have a lot of like valuable knowledge, you don't want that wasted, and you don't want anybody to waste your time, and it sucks whenever you feel that way. And she never ever made me feel that way, and she was really, persistent and always, I had the door open for her. She called me and texted me anytime she wants. She would send me footage, and I'd basically critique it. Again, like all of my critiques were television style, because I knew at the time that was like her weak point. But I mean, I just how she took the ball and like ran with it. It just made me feel really good. And it was so satisfying for Awesome Kong when WWE picked her up, because she was just like, I was right. I was right. She felt so good to go back and be like, I told you so.
Right.
I told you so. I told you, and I told you, and I told you to call her and sign her right now, and you did it, and WWE's got her now. So you fucked
Oh wait,
up.
hold on,
Yeah.
wait, AEW, wait. So there was a lot. So there's a experienced veteran, or a respected experienced veteran, and they didn't listen to that experienced veteran.
No, right.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's so.
Right?
That
Yeah.
seems so like not
She's
like
just-
them.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
It was the validation Awesome Kong needed when she got signed. It was the validation she needed. She's just like, I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. I know talent. I knew there was something with this girl. I know I'm not crazy. So it was very fulfilling for me, but I think it was probably the most satisfying with her, for her to just be like, fuck you. She was like, I knew
Now,
it.
was she wrestling against Rhea Ripley Survivor Series, right?
Oh my gosh.
That's how amazing is that?
It's amazing. I mean, when she got signed, it kind of felt like my kid was kind of going off to college, and it was just like, I want to keep helping you, but like you're kind of getting to the point where like I'm not going to be in that position anymore, And it was just like,
What a great story.
come back. But no, I need her to keep going and keep doing her thing, and making sure that she surrounds herself with, the right people. And same thing, I gave her the speech, don't let your emotions make your decisions.
And she may not be your last. I mean, there might be other, right?
No, there was
right?
yeah, I helped another student, Jay Vidal, get signed to Impact.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he's doing, and we talk all the time. Actually, we still train together once a week, and our training consists of, our training may be 2 hours, but the first hour is just like this. It's talking, it's venting,
Okay.
it's venting, it's having a conversation, and it's kind of hitting the reset button on his mindset, because
Yeah.
it's very easy for people to be frustrated with, either certain individuals or the position that they're in at the time. It may not be the ideal position they want to be in, or
You bring some outside bullshit into the ring.
yeah,
and,
outside BS.
it's-
So it's basically, my training with Jay is like, the first hour is kind of a therapy session, and
Yeah.
get his head back in the game, and then we work out, do some stuff, and do a bunch of cardio, and then when we leave, we kind of like, okay, here's our next game plan. This is what I want you to do. Here's some stuff I want you to write out, and let's have a new approach. And that way, you kind of go back into work having a different mindset instead of a frustrated mindset.
Wow.